to do to sell myself, because the potential fine is $50,000 plus a loss of the footage.
Wow.
Confiscation of your equipment until you go to court. So I have a 23-person cast on this movie. I have 13 people on the crew, and a lot of money invested. And if we got shut down, we still have to pay everybody, and then there wouldn't be enough money in the budget left over to finish the movie. So now I have to convince the cops not to shut us down. And he's like, we're getting complaints. A couple of your girls walked out of the living room with their boobs out, smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, God, we tell these girls not to do that, and Scott missed it, and they're out there with their boobs out, smoking a cig, probably completely naked, to be honest with you. The poor girls don't have any filter. And so the cop said to me, and I told him the whole story that, we need to finish this. He goes, do you think he literally said to me, do you think it could be done by 8 o'clock? I said, 8 o'clock in the morning, yeah. And he looked at me like I was out of my mind. But here's the ironic thing. 3 months earlier, I was driving home, and I saw a DUI checkpoint. Now, I don't drink anymore, so I pulled my car over, I parked, and I said to the cops, can I sit and watch you guys for a while? So they gave me a chair out of their van, and I'm hanging out with the cops. I hung out with them for 4 hours on this DUI checkpoint. And the chief of the Rampart division comes along, and I'm talking to him for quite a while, and he said, you should come and volunteer at the police station. And I said, I'd actually like to do that because I'm a writer, and if I ever do anything with the police story, I'd like to know a little bit more of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just started volunteering at Rampart, only 1 day a week, when the cops came, and I said, I volunteer at Rampart. They go, you do? And they go, who do you know? I said, well, I know the captain, and that's who I work with. And they're like, what's his name? And I told them. They called him up on the phone, and that saved our ass.
Wow.
And they took me aside and said, we want to let you go, but we have to issue a citation. We hope you don't get too upset with this. We're going to issue a $200 citation. And that's what they did. I said, thank you very much.
Wow.
And they left. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah, all because we picked a whorehouse to shoot at. I mean, there's so many stories that would fill a great television show up. I mean, it's just amazing what goes on in this business that the average person doesn't have any clue of.
Will you ever write a book?
I'm actually we're working on a TV pilot right now.
Oh, that's amazing. It does sound like a great TV show.
But here's the problem. I have 3 shows that I'm, and don't have this at all in the article, please.
Okay. This is off the record.
What's happening is all my buddies in the real world are big TV producers.
Mm-hmm.
And, so for the last 5 years, they'd come to my company, they go, God, your company looks exactly like mine, except you just have naked women.
Yeah.
And they would say things like, you should be in TV.
Yeah.
But nobody was offering me a job. And I said, hey, come and work on this show. But they were saying your skills and your ability to get things done for so cheap,
mm-hmm.
you would be a huge asset. So I've been thinking about it. And then I realized last year when things really slowed down for me, if I'm going to do this, I got to get much better as a writer. I have to really learn how to write as opposed to just writing from gut instinct and
mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, reading. I probably read 50 books on the craft of screenwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, really? I didn't know any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How to compose a scene correctly and shifting the positive negative vibe in the middle of the scene. I didn't know any of this stuff. So now I feel like I'm a way better writer. I have 3 shows that I'm working on right now for pilots, and all good. The problem with the one about the adult, which I think is the best one, is the Me Too movement has really ripped out any chance of that show being aired.
Okay.
And because what's happening now at Netflix or Amazon or even Showtime for that matter,
yeah.
what's happening is any female executive that goes, I don't like the way these girls are being portrayed, the show's over. And
yeah.
she doesn't have to even be a high-level executive because, a lot of times decisions are made by 2 or 3 people.
Right.
But they do tend to show treatments or scripts or pilots for that matter to their staff to get consensus. And if one, could be a guy too, but one woman really says, you know what, I don't like the way they're calling that girl a whore in the script.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's completely realistic and it's dead on with what's going on, I'm sunk. And because of my baggage as a porn director, even though I'm a normal guy and you wouldn't think of me as anything other than a normal guy, even though all the executives a lot of executives from different networks and different production companies have come on my set over the years. I've had Los Angeles Lakers, I've had Los Angeles Dodgers, I've had them all come on the set for the years. But none of the TV executives can admit that they like or watch porn because it's not good for the image. And the advertisers control television as far as mainstream television, and the subscribers control, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu.
Right.
So what happens with that, and those companies are all, except for Netflix, are owned by big corporations. Amazon is huge, and Hulu is owned. I think Hulu's owned by is Hulu owned by CBS? I can't remember.
By Fox now, actually, I think.
But they have to answer, and we go right back again to the Christian right and the moral majority. You can't have a porn director directing a TV show on Amazon. How dare you?
Really?
So, yeah, it's really it's that crazy. So when I do make the switch, which is happening now, I'm coming up with a whole new name, a whole new IMDb page that has like one credit, a sitcom that I actually wrote for this company and shot. And if they ask me what I've been doing the last 20 years, I've been working at Walmart.
I love it.
I just have great ideas for TV. I'm one of these, idiot savants, so just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Then one of my friends who's a big TV writer and a producer, he said to me, he goes, after you get your first show being broadcast, then it doesn't matter what your backstory is. Then your backstory can be an asset. But
right.
At that point, it's a hindrance.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy, especially when you know that there are legitimately not good people who are very successul. And just because...
Well, yes.
Yeah, a lot of them. And as we keep finding out. Yeah.
I mean, it's a double standard. I've never mistreated anybody in my life, but I am a filthy, dirty porn director, apparently, which I get it. I understand it, So, it's really funny because my show has got to be twice as good whenever I produce. I can't go with a script. I can't go with a treatment to a company and say, hey, you like my idea? Because there's too many ways to step it up. I actually have to produce the pilot.
Wow.
I have to really bring it home, and we're basically, it's undeniable. They go, oh my God, this is really good. We got to have this.
Is that what you're doing now then? You're producing it yourself? The pilot? Wow. Wow.
So, but the problem is I'm not done with the script yet, but the problem is, do I shoot that show that I really believe in, that's really authentic? It's really, I've changed the style 7 times. This is the 7th draft of the script it's gone through major revision, because now some of the female characters, rather than being what they have been in the past, which they're expendable in my business, girls are expendable. I mean, they're lined up a mile long and they're expendable. Now some of the female characters are much more, they're much more sympathetic. You feel for them. They've gone through things. A lot of the storytelling has switched so you can see it from their angle as opposed to them just being a naked piece of meat. Now it's what happened to them in the background. Their boyfriend beat them, or their father. There's a lot of that style.
Right.
Some of that also came when these girls started committing suicide in the porn business. I don't know if you were aware of that.
No.
But we went through a period, it's been about a year since anybody's done it, but we went through a period where 7 girls killed themselves.
Wow.
In a 2-year period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, including some big girls in the business, too. Most of them were fringe girls that were branching out and doing a porn scene here or there, and then they went back to college and they got taunted and they just, they hung themselves.
Wow.
There were a couple of girls that were here that were big, that were well known, that, one girl hung herself in a tree in Santa Barbara.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and the ironic part is her husband, who's a director who I've never liked at all. He doesn't like me either. I think he's a piece of shit. Her husband is a guy, and I said to another big director in the business when this all came about, I said, so his wife just committed suicide. It's really sad. I feel for him. And I said, wait a second, didn't he used to go out with Hunter Bryce about 8 years ago, and she committed suicide too? And the director looks at me, he's a very famous director, he goes, yep. I said, so this guy has 2 women that he was with that have committed suicide? And the other director grabbed his finger and gives me the number 3. Apparently there were 3 girls in his life that killed themselves.
Whoa.
Isn't that
that's